Let's fight. Wherever you're joining us from tonight, let's fight, good folks. We trust that you guys have had a good day. We trust that you guys have had a good weekend. We are back at it, good folks. It's the day after, the day before. How you folks are doing? Sher Duncan, Mark Safe. Do let us know how things are at your end, good folks. We're making sure that we share the live, folks. We're making sure we smash that emoji button as well. And you do the same, folks. Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. Smash, 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 smash. That emoji button, good folks. Smash that emoji button, folks. Share the live, share the broadcast, share the program, share in the ring, good folks, and partner with us as well. We're going to make sure that we share that our end, folks. The honors get valid and credible information as well. Good to see so many of you. Claudette Bobby Lewis, thanks for the thing, Claudette. Thanks for the thing. Who no? Who no? Claudette Bobby Lewis, thanks for the thing, Claudette. Thanks for the thing. Pace and power. I said thanks for the thing. Claudette, thanks for the thing. I am happy that you folks are here with us. Wherever you're joining us from tonight, pace, and power. You know how we do it here, folks. Share the live and smash that emoji button. Sandra Ford and Dan Abrams, good to have each and every one of you on the live. Kurt Access Charmley Richmond is here as well. Michaela Andrew Coates, good to see you too. Great to have each and every one of you. Wonderful, beautiful folks in the ring with us. We see Julian Mars is here as well. Sandra Ford, Maria Bella, good to have you here too. And all the other folks joining us. Laverne Harrichiran, Kelman Pussat, Kim Walker, good to have you. Chandel Moses, great to have you. Each and every one of you, like Gladys Pussat, joining us this evening. Great to have each and every one of you folks in the ring with us. We trust that you guys are great. We trust that you guys are well. Wherever you all are joining us from around the world, folks, rock and come in, share the live, smash that emoji button, folks. We got the fight card set. We're fired up. We ready? We ready to go to the opener. You guys are chinks in. Share that live, good folks. Smash that emoji button. Amanda, good to have you there. Amanda Charles, Sandra Hanover. If Sandra's here, you know, Joy Dotson's here as well. Wilma Grant, Roxanne Aaron. Good to have each and every one of you. Anthony Silva, Maxine Still, Wilton Blue. We see you, Wilton. Come on down. Shondell, Altia Garraway, Susan, Abidi Souza, Council out of Linden. Good to have each and every one of you. Good to have you, Abby. Abby, good to have you on the live. You and the whole home circle. Big shout out to you, Abby. Great to see you on the live tonight, Abby. Lorraine Harman. Folks, Abby's a fantastic, beautiful soul of the mining tongue of Linden in Region 10. Pace and power. Carol Monroe. I see Beatrice Selby is here too. And all the other folks who are joining us. Guys, we're fired up and we are ready to go with the opener tonight. Good folks, we got the opener set. And just some of y'all chinksing. I said, stop that. Stop chinksing. Come fulls, good folks. Come fulls. I want to ring the bell one time for Abby. And then, good to see you on the live. Rena Cummins, the ever hard-working Rena Cummins, Akeem Thompson, good to have you there, Akeem Thompson. Angela, Jordan, good to have you there, Angela. Penelope Hudson, Sion Thomas, Charles Nelson, Hazel Chase, Debbie Collins says loud and clear. Debbie always working hard in our interest. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much. Ring the bell one time for folks like Debbie. Always working hard. Folks, as we said, we were in the mining town yesterday. Well, some of y'all, the skylarking, we were in the vanguard. Sometimes you got to watch, folks. We were there, folks, lending our energies to the wonderful folks of Linden. They had a beautiful motorcade yesterday afternoon that led into some wonderful presentations, concerning Venezuela. They're standing in the defense too, and they prepared for the worst. And it was the mayor of Linden. It opened my mind to some thinking I wasn't even contemplating initially. But I'm thankful that folks like Sharma Salman always out front doing the heavy lifting, folks, especially now for the good folks at Linden. And some of what he said last evening, the motorcade started in the afternoon hours, went all over Linden, folks. And then it culminated into some presentations, and some of what the mayor said. Very interesting, folks. Very interesting. Some of what the mayor of Linden said. And that's the opener for tonight. Let's start there, good folks. Let's start there.
Because we recognize the importance of this particular issue. Of all the matters we've been addressing, why is it this Venezuela matter becomes one that we have accepted as a policy initiative so that the town council can put forward to you, residents, where we stand as it relates to the issue of Venezuela. Because although it's a national crisis, it involves you, the people. So at that local level, it requires your local leaders to pay attention to everything that is going on. But even more importantly than that, to us in Linden and Region 10, because over the past hour or so, those who should have listened to the court ruling on Friday have defied it. So if they're prepared to defy the world, and today go against that, then you, Region 10, must understand, in the minds of 32 million people, a few hours ago, you have just turned the new borders of Guyana. You, Region 10. Because you're on the Essequibo River. You are bordering Region 8 and 7. So in that claim that is being made today, they have now said to you how important you have become in the borders of Guyana. But we have lost nothing. We Guyanese know that 83,000 square miles belongs to us and will remain with us. But we must be cognizant. We must understand how the enemy is thinking. Because the enemy today shows that in one unison voice, all 32 plus million Venezuelans, there is no opposition, there is no government. The first thing they agreed on together, that was Essequibo belongs to Venezuela. There is no difference in opinion among Venezuelans in that call. So if they're so collective in that call, understand that today they executed on that referendum. In their minds, Guyana have just lost 62,600 square miles. But we want to say, not only to the Venezuelans, but to our own government, because of that sort of conditions, we have moved from one extreme, where those who believe nothing will happen, to now we see a referendum happen. And there is the more bottom extreme of where we have military forces on the border. But in between those two extremes, nothing happening. We see things happening. And something happening. How do we as Linden prepare? And this is where I want to speak to you, Linden. Because in that becomes circumstances. There are the circumstances and situations that require things like internal migration. So how do we deal with things like that? How do we deal with our local population? How do we deal with ensuring our resources are adequate? This is what we want to say to you. That in Region 10, in Linden, we are making this tonight our claim. And we are putting this before the government of Guyana. But at this moment, we are calling for 4 things to happen and must happen. Because I just show you in the minds of 32 million people where you now find yourselves, Linden. You are now the border town. You are now the town that needs to be prepared more than any other town. So in doing that, the first thing the government needs to do is make available resources so that we can conduct mass-scale exercise of educating our people. We have to be able to not only tonight, not only today, like we saw a circle of love and circle of prayers and motorcade and standing on the street corner. It needs to be every single minute of the day we have to educate our people. We have become so jaded because we've rested the issues of ensuring we keep focus on this issue, that educating our people became not so important priority. But that is one of the things we are saying to this government. Make available the resources so that we can conduct mass-scale education. One of those will be even opening up the television station so that your leaders don't only have to come here, but we can meet you on the TV. That should also happen as opening up resources. You cannot have a crisis and locking voices out now. So those are the things we're saying first, that the government should have a national plan that includes all stakeholders, that allow the bringing of their agenda, that allow them to have access to be able to be given that which they can go to the communities and get work done. So the first thing is the unity. Bring it together. Bring it together and ensure that you give people what is needed. The second thing that must be done is not only the giving of the resources, it's to ensure that the involvement of your local councils and your local representative is given the opportunity to participate in what is going on. So you can't come to England as a minister a week ago and exclude all of you people, because in all of you people are your representatives, such as persons like myself. How then can you be spoken with and told and be a part of what is taking place when your voices are locked out? So that is the second thing that the government must do. Make the resources available so that we can ensure that we are able to participate in helping our people, so that they can become conscious about what's happening in this country. The other thing of the four things would be to ensure that in this time, you heard me talking about the equipment we own. You heard about all those national songs we just sang. But that becomes the sort of fundamental things we want to say to this government and the people of Guyana. We have lost our way, Guyanese. Even as we've referred to our own name, as I said to persons this morning, we have been repeating our name. You know, when you're accustomed calling people false name, you call them that their whole life. So we call ourselves a false name the whole life. We are not Guyana. We are not Guyana. Our correct name is the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. You see, many times when you take those little things to be insignificant, let me tell you, I explained it this morning. Because in Guyana we feel it's only land of many water. Yeah, that is part of the name. But in the cooperative spirit, what you find is a coming together of people for a common cause, a common understanding, by pooling their resources collectively to do that. That is what is in our name. The ability to bring us together. And what we have done, we've thrown that name away. So those are the things become the third thing we want to say to this government. Give resources to the local communities so that we can push the nationalistic agenda and bring back nationalist pride. So that people understand our coat of arms. People understand our motto. One people, one nation, one destiny. Who has screamed the one Guyana, God bless them. But in this national crisis, we are one people, one nation, one destiny. Those things carry values and meaning. Those are the things that in this time, that they alone don't own the narrative on driving a nationalist agenda. Because those very basic things can be said to you here tonight. Imagine more than flags, because that is part of the nationalistic agenda. Every single day wave your flag. Outside the jerseys, you should be given tonight the sort of paraphernalia to stuff your household, so that every time you turn, you see something about Guyana. That is where we have to take our people. In all of this distraction that we have, in this time of this festive season, and all of the things that people have to contend with personally, you really think you can just drag people to a different mental dimension? That is why it's such a challenge that today, 32 million people, today I mean 2/3 of your country, and people busy Christmas cleaning right now. Not that they feel they can jump onto the Christmas cleaning and do something, but we want them to also focus their minds on the possibilities. We hear people saying nothing ain't gonna happen. That is not a true statement. something gonna happen. That is not a true statement. The true statement is that something could or could not happen. So in that sort of conditioning that it may or may not happen allows you to put those three considerations in place. A government with a national plan that involves local leaders, a government that understands that they have to invest the resources so that we are able to educate our people, a government that understands the nationalistic drive of ensuring that we are able to inculcate in our people what it means to be Guyanese and the values to be Guyanese. But the fourth important thing, Lindeners, as your mayor and a council that acquired the position through your votes to manage the municipality, as a broken municipality, here will be saying to this government that now is not the time to play petty politics. Now is the time to see where there are deficiencies in your municipality. Now is the time to focus on two very important things: institutional strengthening and capacity building.
Yep. Folks, that was the one and only Sharma Rahim Solomon, the mayor of Linden. I almost said the worship of Linden. His worship, the mayor of Linden. That was yesterday. There was a motorcade that led into several presentations, and we wish we had all the time in the world to bring more of them to you folks, but that was the opener. Let's turn our attention to some of the things we got on the fight card tonight. Good folks, we trust you guys are great. We trust you are well. Wherever you're joining us from, I'm ringing the bell one time for each and every one of you. Janet Gordon and Debbie Collins, Joan Stephanie, Marilyn Larimer, Collins, Bobby Lewis, and all the other folks. You might even have a guest or two dropping by. So let's hasten on. A lot of stuff happening in Ukraine. Carnage on our roads and on our waterways, folks. We seem not to be able to break ourselves from those shackles. It's in one blood. Folks, it's blood. Share the life. Who would we tonight? We spectating. A nice time for the pensioners, apparently. Nice time. We're going to be covering some of that, folks. But let's bring it in from some what we're covering internationally, and we're going to circle back, folks. So we're covering in the region. In the Ukraine, the U.S. are right out to aid, and they're about to go back to Congress for more money. Uncle Sam, we can do a little this side. Uncle Sam, we can do a little on this side. You hear what them boys in Venezuela want to do to us? The White House warns that Ukraine aid is running out, and they're pressing Congress for more. Not going to be us. Folks, y'all praying for this country of ours, this beautiful nation of ours. Y'all praying for us. Please and thank you, good folks. Do that for me. Pray for us. Somewhat we're tracking around the region. We're coming in real quick on the other side, folks. We're coming in real quick. Look what's happening here. Climate change cash. Yep, they're telling us, is it Antigua and Barbuda? Smiling all the way to the bank. Now, this is Belize, I think. $122 million in grants for its climate adaptation and resiliency program. Let me just make sure we are accurate on the country. But they're smiling all the way to the bank, nevertheless. Nice time. I'm happy to see countries getting what is due to them. Us, this part of the region, we ain't creating half of this mess with the ozone layer breaking up and falling down. You know, the planet heating up, all this stuff. We ain't got a kind of production and industrialization this part of the world's hemisphere. So the best pays the money to help us to get our way out of this. Y'all feel how this place hot? You feel how it hot? Hot. Folks, it's Belize. Belize smiling all the way to the bank, folks. All the way to the bank. Are we happy for them? Nice time for Belize. Nice time. This now, look story here now. This is Grenada. Grenada is contemplating more money for their parliamentarians. Because they understand the value of the work parliamentarians do. We have part-time parliamentarians at our end. If you really had to traverse the length and breadth of this country, the money given us parliamentarians couldn't work. Really look after the interests of the people of this country. Couldn't work. Grenada is doing something about it. Grenada is doing something about it. Everybody in this country should be paid properly. Private sector workers, public sector workers, teachers, nurses, policemen and women. or men and women in uniform, period. The Ghana Defense Force should be paid properly. Because they're leading the way. They ain't just talking, and they ain't got diamond and bauxite and timber and manganese and copper, right? We got electro, we got the people, we got lead, weighing we down. They don't have all of those things. They got oil and gas, sun, and sea, and doing good for their people, doing good for their public servants, about to do good for their MPs as well. It's a step in the right direction. Who no? It's a step in the right direction, folks. In the 5, in the 9, and of the 2, folks, my Lord. Never dull moment. Never, y'all know this. You know the whole story. Know the whole story. The whole story. You don't see it. You don't see it. You know the whole story. Yeah. Welcome, folks. Wherever you're joining us from around the world, share the like, smash that emoji button for us, folks. Let me go down the man. Let me go down a little bit. Wrong and down. Look at what we're following, folks, in the 592. For your information. Please here. For information, folks. For your information. CARICOM telling us they had a cyber breach. They had an infiltration on their website. Yep. Some applications and some other information has been compromised. I wonder if it's them boys since CARICOM talk up. Since CARICOM said 1899. We there right there. Since CARICOM said 1966, Geneva Convention. We there right there. Suddenly it's breach. I wonder if it's them boys hard at work. You think we're ready for the kind of warfare these folks want to unleash? That's why I tell Uncle Sam send something here. We only want field hospital. We got any things that prevent the field hospitals from becoming necessary. That's what we really need. Send a couple things this side, Uncle Sam. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button. Let's have a go at it. But this was happening. They said they had a cyber breach. You saw that? Good, folks. You saw that. Chinsing Henry, Chandel Moses, Yolanda, Carl Jacob, Chandel, Shireen. You saw that. Cyber breach. Yeah, it leaves a lot to be desired. I wonder if it's because them boys talk up in our defense. Should other countries be worried? Should they be worried, folks? Them boys said 10.5 million voted in favor of the referendum. And that's what they said. 10.5 million. Can you believe that? It's 10.5 million jagabats they got there. Pierre Lecoq, Kyle Bino, Fidel Albert. It's 10.5 million trench crappers. I don't want to believe so. I don't want to believe. I think the thing they break though. I think the books can cook. The books can joke. How it going, folks? We show you how a lot of things start. Urban Don, Donna Miller, Rastaman Hazel Chase. We don't often show you guys how it going. Check this one out. We showed you this. A man was decapitated. Decapitated, found in a drain. But the Venezuelan national alleged to have done that dastardly, wicked act. The Venezuelan national has been remanded to prison. You remember Khemraj Ramjattan? He's the fellow who was found beheaded. Found beheaded. Simon Wills is the Venezuelan they have held, has been responsible for that, folks. Yeah. Yeah. We got to watch this, folks. We got to. You know, some people say they got some syndicatos and some bad boys in between. And they say the Spanish men real cruel, the bad ones. The syndicatos, and they say they got some in between. Jack, you know why we save today? We say everything is nice, but you don't heard nothing. Everything is nice. This Guyanese who born in Venezuela and now come back. You don't bother with her. Don't bother with that. That's what I'm telling you what the fellow said. Now we're grappling with that. I don't want to exaggerate any or encourage any phobias. I don't want to encourage that. But this is what it is, folks. We got to be careful out here. Serious times, we got to be careful. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji. But wherever you're joining us from, please and thank you. 9 to the times. 9 to the times. And we always say, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Don't do it. You can't do the time, don't do the crime. The two things go hand in hand, folks. And we are hastening up. You know the whole story. We have a guest joining us. You know the whole story about Venezuela. Start to finish. You know the whole thing. That's what I'm telling you. You know the whole thing. He's going to be joining us shortly. You know the whole story. But look what we're following here now. Right? Look. You can't even rest in peace in this country. Even you dead and gone, there are no guarantees. This country different. Everybody's come upturn your whole casket, your coffin. You see? Upturn the whole session. That's why I want to be cremated. Right? I'm sure Ramanan Mingo, wherever he is in the great beyond, said, you know, I should have taken cremation. I should have taken cremation. Ramanan died at a bar. He was stabbed to death by a colleague. They were drinking, and some argument ensued. And this argument was life and death. And Ramanan Mingo was stabbed to death. Lost his life in such a violent manner. But they didn't stop there, you know. They're still fighting Ramanan. Somebody went and upturned Ramanan whole resting place. He can't even rest in peace. I don't like this country for these kinds of things. You know, your family won't give you a good send-off. You know, that's how we got into said. How was he send-off? You had a good send-off. They buy a nice casket for you. They put in a fancy suit. You got cut up the suit when you put in your 6 feet. Well, you really don't go 6 feet. When you're pushing you in, you got dent up the casket. Shucks, don't do all that. Take the money and feed the poor. You see? Wrap me a little cotton. Bun me carry by some nice river. Far, nothing close by. A far, nice river in the interior. Scatter my ashes, say a prayer, and I gone. That's it. Punto final. Right? You have a bust the perfume, but they thief out the perfume. They thief out the clothes from under you. Lash up the casket. Where's the thief out the casket? Things can't survive you wearing dead people clothes, spray with dead people perfume. Huh? Come on, folks. Come on, folks. You think this country going from bad to worse? So Ramanan's relatives laid him to rest and say, rest in peace, Ramanan. Ash to ashes, dust to dust. It didn't end there. Everybody's going to upturn Ramanan. You're not easy in this country. Watch them perfume that's spraying by you. If it smells a little funny, it might have come from someplace. If the perfume smells a little funny, folks, it might have come from somewhere. I don't talk. Folks. Well, the accident report, not a day goes by. Folks, we're grappling with this like Bigfoot. We're grappling with this like gold in this country. Accidents on our roadways. Carnage. This weekend was no exception. It continued. Because the thing, folks, the thing warm blood. The thing warm blood. Look at what we're following. Accidents, my God. Teenage driver, I think it was an 18-year-old, lost control of a minibus on the quarantine. The bus toppled, crashing into a heap of sand. Or toppled after crashing into a heap of sand. And Marvin Ishmael lost his life. I think he was 18 years old. Slow down and let me arrive alive. And I told you guys, I had a similar experience. And other drivers, one of them turned turtle right there by Ocean View. They had a whole set of sand on the road there. It's madness. The place dimly lit. You can't navigate there properly. So sometimes it's all that kind of total confunction nonsense, folks, that we're grappling with. So, young man lost his life, Marvin Ishmael. 18 years old, as we say here, colloquially, mother milk still in the face, but gone over the weekend. These are the things we're grappling with. You know, the great poet John Donne says, never seek to know for whom the bell tolls. He told Followy one day. You can told Followy. You see? For all of us, lost his life. What good Marvin Ishmael? Our thoughts and prayers with his friends, his family, his loved ones at this such a hard time in their lives. My God. Look what else, folks. Young lady, no driver's license, driving a car, they say at Silver Hill. Is it Silver Hill? My God. Linden Suicide Highway. Hit down a pedestrian. 53-year-old pensioner. A 53-year-old man. The man lost his life. And now she's been charged. Right? My God. That's what's happening on our roadways in this country. Every day. Every day. And people say, I skill Skelachi. I can do it. Some of the risks you see people taking on the roadways. My God. Father, help in this country, you see. Help us in this country. Please and thank you. Moving on quickly, folks. Somewhere in Guyana. The GDF still looking for 4 missing fishermen. Somewhere in Guyana. Still looking for them. They tell us they're going to increase sea patrols. These guys went out to rescue somebody. Now they got to be rescued. The family of Warren Yip Sam and Cecil Prasad, Vikram Singh and Hardat Razak, worried about them. It's about 2 or 3 weeks now. They went out allegedly to aid the rescue of some of their colleagues and they didn't come back yet. Carnage on the road and the waterways. We see it all the time. There are 13 away in this country, and every day, 3, 4. We're in the minus now, but minus 15 away here now. Our thoughts and prayers with these guys, and we really hope that they are found in one piece. They're increasing the patrols now in search of the 4 missing fishermen. Again, this is Warren Yip Sam, Cecil Prasad, Vikram Singh, and Hardat Razak. Families worried. The families also say that they suspect something fishy. Something very, very fishy, folks. You know what's happening in this country? It's like we're learning. Like we're taking learning. The way we want to treat our women, folks, is so fascinating. Right? Well, if Chris Gopal do the crime, he got to do the time. Remanding for attempted rape. No, it's no. No, it's not maybe. And diplomatic speak, they said, if ambassador ever said no, they mean maybe. If they said maybe, they mean yes. And all this, no is no. In women language, no is no. But you can learn the hard way now. Let justice take its course. Yep, let justice take its course. Accused of rape, remanded. This is what it is. Fed up with them. Every day, every week. That's one of the ills we have, the way we want to treat our women and folk. Violence against women and girls, whether it's sexual violence, psychological, or otherwise. That's one of the things we're trying to wrap our heads around. We can't solve that. You see? Can't solve that. Years ago, a man called Einstein, looking at the universe, he said, you know what? You know what I call this happen? Simple equation. E equals mc square. E equals mc square. It's the theory of everything. Eloquent, elegant, little equation. Einstein thinking about the world. See, everything you know of life started with this little formula here. E equals mc square. Right? And we're trying to solve violence against our women and girls. We're trying to solve the carnage in the world. Other countries done solved this problem years ago. But see, somebody get knocked down now, you call somebody who you know in government and they say, don't lock you up. Just like with the thief and chicken story. Just like with the smuggled chicken story. Tomorrow morning we can bust up some more bag with the smuggled chicken story and Zulfikar. Zulfikar then, steel rat scandal, he then Charlie license scandal, now it's smuggled chicken. He learning, he ain't taking learning. He ain't taking learning. Look at that for you following folks. Nice time we hear the money now being given out, the money now being distributed today. Pensioners, good folks. The one-off, 25,000. This is what we become, a cash grant nation. A cash grant nation. Right? As soon as you feel it slipping in the polls, take a 25,000. Yeah. You see? Your family go missing, take a hamper. It's the most bizarre thing. Your house burned down, take quarter pint split peas and a pint aisle. It's hamper nation, but we don't have a value for structures and for systems working. Right, sir? Take a 25,000 one up. Don't raise the pension to 40,000, 50,000. Take a one off and feel nice for Christmas. Spend it all your money, and then you're wondering what happening next year. You see, no forward thinking. Cash. And we know the better. For all of these cash grants, everybody should have singing nice time here. But half of you see we collarbone if you bust the shot. Collarbone! And folks, look who we have with us tonight. Khemraj Ramjattan told one of the publications nationally, we ain't giving up. That's what he said. He said we ain't giving up, folks. But before we have him, President Irfan Ali, He was interviewed by the BBC today on this whole issue of the Ghana-Venezuela border controversy, and more in particular, this referendum, which we're going to be talking about with Khemraj Ramjattan, leader of the Alliance for Change, member of Parliament. But first, that interview by the BBC with Air Finale. Take a look, good folks, and take a listen.
Let's go live now to the President of the Republic of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
So what's your response to this referendum in Venezuela?
Well, first of all, our response has always been one that respects international law, one that respects the dignity of people, and one that leads to the continuation of peace within this region. That is why we went to the ICJ for provisional measures in relation to this referendum. Not to stop the referendum, because that is their business, but to have provisional measures against two questions. One, that would allow Venezuela to annex the Essequibo, and two, to allow them to establish a state. And on both these questions, the ICJ made it very clear that Venezuela is not to act upon the outcome of these two questions or upon the outcome of the referendum, and that Venezuela must respect the status quo as it exists today in Guyana, and that is Essequibo belonging to Guyana, and Guyana administering this county.
And do you think Venezuela will respect it, or do you think they will annex it?
Well, first of all, I believe that Venezuela has a responsibility to honor the order. They have a responsibility to respect the 1899 award. And in the 1899 award, the boundaries of Guyana and Venezuela was fully settled, and that settlement was jointly agreed to by Venezuela and Guyana. For a matter of fact, Venezuela went on to enact the boundaries within the legal system, and even printed stamps with the boundaries. Now, I'm concerned that Venezuela can indeed follow up their rhetoric and the narrative and act in a reckless manner. And this is concerning because already we have a dangerous situation in Venezuela where the people are suffering as a result of the type of governance where the respect for the rule of law, where democracy and all these things are threatened. So we are concerned that a reckless and adventurous action can lead to more displacement of the Venezuelan people.
Okay.
And creates added regional pressures on migration and so on. So as a country, we're not taking this for granted. We're not taking a narrative out of Venezuela for granted. That is why we have been working with our neighbors, our friends, CARICOM, Commonwealth, the OS, have all issued very strong statements and call on Venezuela to respect the rule of law and respect the order of the ICJ.
Okay, President, thank you very much for coming on the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep, there you have it there, folks. Full, final, and complete. Let us have our guest now. Let us switch gears as quickly as we can. Give me a quick second to switch gears. I need to swap out a microphone or two, and then we're going to have our guest as quickly as we can, folks. Give us a quick sec. Give us a quick sec. Full, final, and complete. Full, final, and complete. Let me make sure that we have it right now. All right. Yeah, I think we have it. I think we got, let me make sure we got the right audio. Straight out. And that should, yeah, full, final, and complete. Folks, I am privileged to have with me my guest tonight joining us, the one and only Khemraj Ramjattan from the Alliance for Change, leader of the Alliance for Change and member of Parliament, Khemraj Ramjattan. Khemraj, how are you doing? What are your own thoughts about this referendum out of Venezuela? What are your thoughts?
I see you're on fire there. Thanks and very good night, Sherrod. Yes, and I thought that the president was pretty articulate too in relation to the matter of the Venezuelan controversy. Look, Sherrod, I believe that Maduro and his team with Rodriguez and the rest They literally rigged that system today. From all the Reuters reports we are getting, and
Uh-huh.
from the
Talk to us
very
about that.
reliable and reputable sources, Venezuela's turnout in today's referendum on those 5 questions was minimal. And the reports are indicating such a low turnout. And as a matter of fact, only this afternoon, the opposition, the combined opposition, indicated that it is a lot of inaccuracies when they say about 10 million people voted for them. It is
Yeah,
more
because the two things don't seem to go hand in hand. 10.5 million, well over half of the electorate there, well, just over half the electorate. And then, you know, what Reuters said, they had some folks going around to polling station, and they said they didn't see this kind of turnout at all.
Yeah, they're rigging the system. And of course, the tally from the opposition side, and the opposition would have known about it, because I understand that they have somewhat like scrutineers on every one of the polling stations, and their computation come up about 2.5 million people that turned up. So it has been a backlash for Maduro, because he thought that he's going to rile his people up on this unifying issue of Essequibo.
Mm-hmm.
It would appear that the Venezuelans had enough of his lies and all the mischief that he's been doing. You know, this is a man that has caused over 6.5 million to 7 million Venezuelans to leave for Colombia, Ecuador, Chile, and so many other countries, including Guyana.
Why, Khemraj? Why is that so? Why is that? Why people fleeing Venezuela?
Well, they're fleeing, you know, it's because, let me give you from a Foreign Affairs article. Venezuela is the largest recorded peacetime economic contraction in world history. As I had mentioned in Parliament, it is a country where the inflation rate has reached the 1 million percent.
What?
1 million percent. Yeah, right? Venezuelans largely live up on approximately $6 now. $6.
This is
And
daily?
well, it's monthly, I understand. And this is what the fella says, Francisco. I don't have the oh yes, I do have it. Francisco Rodriguez, the December 1st issue, Can Venezuela Chart a Path Out of Its Crisis? Today, 4/5 of Venezuelans live below the poverty line. Could you imagine that? 4/5. So out of that 26, 27 million people, they got 6 million gone overseas, literally begging. And then you have 4/5 of the country live below the poverty line. You think we are bad? 1/5 of the population is malnourished. And more than 7 million, well, he got 7 million people have left the country. And that is why, from a country that was the richest in Latin America and America, because of that oil that was coming out from the reserves it has, over 304 billion barrels. And of course, Exxon and Chevron and so on was doing wonderful there until the socialist experiment of Chavez, who, by the way, was so well liked by Barra Jagdeo. A lot of people don't understand that Jagdeo in 2000 and so on invited the man twice over here, and I think he been there and so on. And the socialist experiment under this Marxist-Leninist tradition started off. And, you know, all the facts about the Petro-Carib deal and all kind of thing came into being. But the trouble is...
Same Jagdeo who the one get the channel out? The same person?
Yes, that's the same fella.
He's enamored with Hugo Chavez.
Very much enamored with Hugo Chavez. Very much. And also with Maduro to a certain extent. But in any event, it has all come to pass now that the country is in a massive state of crisis. Very big set of poverty over there, malnourishment, and so many things. And he wants to distract. And apart from all of that, by the way, if I may say, he also has tremendous human rights abuses. And this is what a 2020 United Nations fact-finding mission established. It established reasonable grounds believe that Venezuelan authorities had committed crimes against humanity, including murder, torture, rape, and forced disappearances. The prosecutor of the International Criminal Court investigating these allegations is investigating these allegations. And remembers, Venezuela is also a signatory to that ICC. As a signatory to the Rome Statute, the ICC's founding treaty, Venezuela is obliged to fully cooperate in the investigation of these crimes, the prosecution of the perpetrators, and the enforcement of their sentences. Now, he is suspected, along with his team of leaders around him, with all these crimes of humanity and all that. He has literally starved his countrymen. And now, elections is about to come. The Americans have kind of put out a helping hand to him, indicating that, hold free and fair elections, because they know that if free and fair elections are held in that country, Sherrod, the opposition is going to cut his tail. And he don't want that. He felt, that he could win it. This referendum has proven now that he can't win nothing. And that is what I fear that it could be a wounded tiger now.
That's where I was going. Is he more dangerous now?
I believe that there is going to be some pressure. The pressure is now coming, as I am also informed and verily believe, like the president, that even Cuba and a couple of other countries from the diplomats that we have been talking to as Alliance for Change leader, and also talking to some of the international people recently, fact-finding mission from the U.S., the Inter-American Human Rights people
Commission.
They also came, and we have spoken also to a number of other senior diplomats in Guyana. They're of the view that he's going to be pressured by his own people now, and he's going to be pressured by those governments internationally that have a working relationship with him. Look, don't go do anything. The other thing is that is going to hamper whatever temptations he might want to have as a wounded tiger is the fact that they are also signatory to the United Nations Charter. And in that charter, although he's going to behave foolish and state that they're not adhering to the United Nations provisional measures and all of that, he know behind him that the Security Council of the United Nations can enforce judgments of that court, whether they be provisional judgments or whether they be the substantive issue, which is going to be dealt with next year and probably the year after. It takes quite a while. It is a substantive issue.
But Khemraj, let's talk about who behind, as you said. Now, me or them don't even want to come forward and say, this thing belongs to us. 1899, 1966, they dilly-dallying and shilly-shelling, herself and Mr. Rowley, among others, like the one from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonzalez. The Constitution says we got to protect ourselves. Me ain't gonna come, Rowley ain't gonna come, and might take a while before Uncle Sam me there. Why are they thinking more about protecting ourselves? I agree
with you, because we gotta fight for Guyana. The resources of Guyana belongs to us. It didn't belong to America. It didn't belong to Mia Motley. And I could understand the diplomacy that Mia is playing out, and Rowley and all of them. And sometimes we have to be somewhat not naive to go and indicate that they're screwing us up. We have a responsibility because we know basically they will support us. I want to believe that. But there is economic diplomacy at play here. Remember, Petrocarib deal was given to a number of places, and there was a natural gas line that was going to Trinidad, and that, of course, Mia Motley wants certain special benefits from Venezuela and so on. And so they've got to play their cards. I would still believe that they must be far more emphatic and unequivocal of their support in Guyana. But to trash them might be a little harsh at this moment, because they're also suffering too. The economy of, although Barbados is doing well, the economy of Ralph Gonsalves and a number of other places depend on a lot of international support, Venezuela being one such place. So they might not want to shut the doors. And at an international diplomatic approach to these matters, you can see that indeed they're playing that out. It is pretty blatant what they're doing. And so I ain't going to go and chop them up for saying not the kind of words and the emphatic terms that we would want from them. But that is my position in it. As CARICOM, they ought to, but if they got their own interest and so on. Remember, in this world, Sherrod, at a state level and international relations and diplomacy, they ain't got permanent friends, It's permanent interest. And that is why sometimes we have to start reconfiguring this CARICOM arrangement, whereby with the oil monies that we got now, we have to start probably dealing with economic diplomacy to a certain extent too, and not just take all the money and give contractor cronyism as this government is doing.
Because I want to know who protecting Dennis Atwell, who protecting Eva Mattis, I calling some of the names on the live, Abira and Andre and Carolyn. I want to know who protecting them. And if it's wrong for them to want to protect themselves and for the state to help them to protect themselves too. At least that's what the folks in Region 1 was asking us. How come we can't get a thing?
That is an important point. And I made mention of it at the Stabroek Market Square. Look, our Constitution says that every citizen must defend the state of Guyana. That's a big article in, I think, Article 13 of the Constitution. Every citizen has a duty to defend. Now, the frontline people here will be the people from Region 1. And as you got from your interviews, they would like to be frontline personnel that can help with firing back, assuming they are fired upon. And so we got to do some training, like in every situation where we might have to go the distance. You need to prepare the people. You need to prepare them with some training, and also to give them whatever will take the form of their defense, whether it is equipment, whether it is arms, whatever it is. And they have been calling for that because they ain't got nowhere to go. It's like the Gazans. We're going to put you're bombing them, you're bombing them, you're bombing them. Where will they go now? You want them to go into the sea? Oh, my goodness. So the people can stay there. And then, of course, as we said, to defend people like Dennis Atwell and all the Guyanese that we know about, you have to, you got to do some major capitalization of our army and the enforcement sections, inclusive of the police and so on. All of that got to be done. And then, of course, as we have been talking all over, defense diplomacy must be enhanced. That is what will take care of it. We got to go and tell the Americans and plead with them. We got to go and plead with Spain. We got to go to the European Union. We got to go OAS and talk to these people, and got sensible people to go and talk to them. Not some of the trench crappers and the jagabats, as you would say. So it is vital that we do all of that. And that is what is going to take us to the place of at least ensuring some security. And
but Khemraj, the other side of that, you talk about Chavez wanting to distract from the economic woes at home. Are we also being distracted? Because I see them boys still smuggling chicken. They're smuggling the ambulance remote, they're smuggling other things. Chicken smuggling. I know Sue can pick up arms. Sue went in the living room and so on. I know Sue can pick up. I don't even know if we find Sue. Right? Look, we might be being distracted too, and a lot of things happening.
Sherrod, that is an important point, because the People's Progressive Party government seems to want to take all the kudos for what happened here. They cost down the Exxon contract. They cost down so many things that was good.
They cost down the signing bonus, the 18 million, with them, with
the
lawyers and all that.
All of that. That money that we put aside in the Bank of Guyana governor, Ganga, a name and so on, they said at how Ramjattan and Granger thief the money.
You
They
come back
ain't
to
got no
country,
shame.
some fancy
They
country.
never could utter the word that they are happy that in 2018, the whole arrangement to send the thing to the ICJ as we have done.
It's what we're
forcing
benefiting
Venezuela-
from now.
Exactly. So we have to understand that just like Maduro is doing, distracting, this government is also to a certain extent guilty of distraction. So many things that they're distracting us from. But we as opposition must understand that no, don't take our eyes off the ball. Tipui contract, $888 million. Why don't you take
What
that,
next?
cancel that? Yes, cancel that contract and ensure that at least a minimum of $888 million more from whatever they said they're giving the GDF now, you give to them.
Bomb your primary
Armaments.
school, mister. Not a deadline. We told them don't give the entertainers, give it to the people who competent. We like them guys in entertainment. Bomb your the primary school in London that was given to the guys with the entertainment and so on and play the music. Fall behind again.
Well, you see, that is where there is mismanagement. And they would want to give the money to their support base and also their friends and family and flatterers and favorites. And they will still not ensure that the institutions of democracy are working. The guardrails are being destroyed. And that is what they're doing. They don't want institutions to function like the non-functioning of, what is it, the Security Committee of Parliament, where we can ask so many questions. Nothing has happened for 3 years. And I've been begging Mr. Ben, convene meetings. No. Now, when they don't want the institutions to function, they then go and change rules and make measures to ensure that there is limited functioning, like what's happening with our PAC now. Non-attendance of their ministers, and 23 or 24 meetings have now been cancelled. So we can't talk about all the expenditures or the bad expenditures. And they want to avoid us from coming to the year 2020 when they started spending monies. So they're going to drag out this process. And we still got to bring that back. But all the president and the vice president and all of them, they want to watch them, how they're looking after the Venezuela issue. That's an important issue, I agree. But they got other issues that is making life hard. And it could make life hard.
Like this one, Khemraj, as you on that, like this one, take a look at what Irfan Ali said on November 9th. November 9th. Today is the 4th day of December. Take a look at what he said.
I will also very shortly be making an announcement on the across-the-board salary increase for public servants, teachers, and members of the discipline services. I thank you. God bless you.
Yeah. This shortly is like the appointment of the substantive Chief Justice and Chancellor. Right. It's that kind of shortly.
Yeah. And also, like they know that the court system got a shortage of judges. They make we go and pass a bill that they're going to bring, I think, 12 more judges to the High Court and 3 or 4 more Court of Appeal judges. Up to now, they can't appoint the people. So they make dysfunctional the institutions that are important to government simply because they probably don't want more cases to be heard and so on, because they fear that the decisions might be against them. And when they are not doing that, they're actively ensuring that there is not the employment of people within these institutions to make them functional. Only this afternoon, I heard about what is going on in the Public Procurement Commission. Lots of people who ought to be employed as investigators not being employed. And that is happening at a number of institutions where very important core employees are not there simply because they don't want them. And we must not be distracted by this Venezuela thing as to not go back to these core national issues and as an opposition drive it home for the electorate and the population to see what is happening. Although I mentioned just now that Venezuela got malnourishment, we got malnourishment in Guyana here too.
Correct.
I have gone to Barbados only the Saturday gone, talking to some of the boys from Albion and our Regional Management Committee meeting, AFC. And if you hear the concerns of the people, it's amazing. And this government wants to give the impression that everything is honky-dory. It is not. It's a lot of punishment out there, and we must understand that this Venezuela, important issue as it is not going to what you call cause those other issues to recede onto the back burner and then off the stove, as it were. That is what Jagdeo especially wants. But we are not going to allow that to happen. And that is why we have so many people now talking about that education system. We got to hammer home what is happening at CPCE. Is it? Remember,
Yeah.
that is a big issue.
Yeah.
Everybody here get pass grade. And there was, yeah.
And that's the closer tonight, folks. So don't go away. The CPCSU, we can close on that.
Yeah. And so I want people to understand that, yes, we do have. But look, I believe that the Venezuelan issue was a bluff largely by Maduro to distract. He has now been compounded by this low turnout.
Yeah.
His problems have been compounded by that low turnout. And the fact that the Americans, in the same article that I have wants to put some pressure, assuming he does not allow, let's say, the Machado lady to run as an opposition. He's frightened. And then we understand that he got control of the Elections Commission and all of that. What is the Elections Council, they call it over there. So he might want to try a thing or two, but then he will get back all those sanctions that were there before it was removed recently. And that is a dangerous thing. If that sanction is removed, he can get at least $10 billion oil sales to America alone in the next 3 or 4 months. 10 billion. So he not gonna want to, do stupidness, or at least I think he might irrational. He might not want to be irrational as that. But then you can never say, because this fella has done all manner of things to his own people. And that is why today, in discussing the problem with some other people, if he could do that to his own people, what he might not want to do to Guyanese. But of course, we understand that he got a whole lot of problems, even with his army people too, because a lot of these equipment that he got might very well be derelict and all kind of thing. So he is not strong. And when he was trying his best to distract, he got caught. Just like how, in our opinion, in my opinion, at least we must not get caught with the distraction that the PVP government wants us to be distracted by.
Yeah, but those are the issues we have now. Guyanese people are still pretty tense. We saw some fake news circulating last evening, flags coming down, flags going up, people circulating that because, there's a lot of worry here and a lot of angst. Khemraj, what do you say to Guyanese, as we wrap up? At this time, people tense, people worried, what's going to happen,
Look, it is always going to be difficult for what a leader can say in these contexts. And I understand when the question was directly put to Irfan Ali just now, he had to kind of nudge away. There is uncertainty as to what he can do, but we got to be eternal optimists, knowing that there are a couple of things that are to our advantage, like it being ICJ judgment, like it being the fact that low turnout, like it being so many other countries are coming to our assistance, especially with certain remarks made by the court stating Venezuela must refrain from taking any action which would modify the situation being that Guyana administers and exercises control of that area. Now, you got to pay attention to them. You could go and bow wow and bark and so on. But when you are going to be wanting to bite, you got to remember that there is something called the Security Council of the United Nations. It's got a military unit. It can help Guyana. And then all the powerful countries of Latin America, Argentina, and so many other countries, Brazil, have staked people at the borders there, anticipating something. We have to, because we don't have a choice, we have to become as alert, but we also do not have to panic. I believe that is my message, because if we start panicking, a lot of things can happen that could cause a further economic catastrophe there. Those people who cannot come out of the area will now leave a lot of people without jobs, and a whole lot of things can happen there. Government, in the meantime, must go to the support of those people. I believe that there is need for big time support, food security and otherwise, and so on. And then reassure them that they have things under control. Reassure them it's more policemen and soldiers in that area with powerful weapons and so on. It will help. And that is the kind of thing that I will want our government to do, and also to ask of our citizens in those areas, don't panic. They know the situation better. Avoid it.
Yeah, don't panic. Khemraj, thanks for spending this time with us and giving context to this issue. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, man. Anytime.
All right. Folks, the one and only Mr. Khemraj Ramjattan. I want you all to see some revelation of what's going down at CPC. Take a look, folks. Some revelations. I want to hear what Prem Manikchan is going to say. I want to hear some of what the education ministry in general, what they're going to say on this, folks. Quite a bit of revelation, coming out of CPCE. Quite a bit of revelation. Take a look, folks, and take a listen at some of the things we're tracking. We're tracking this evening. Again, coming out of CPC, folks. I think we are the closer. Are we there? Yeah, that's the closer. The closer, folks. Take a look and take a listen. Revelations coming out of the CPC. Listen to what one man said on social media. Now, these are allegations, but damning revelations. Let's hear what the government will say in return. Here's what he said, this man on social media. Take a look, folks. Take a listen. Apologies there, folks. I hear people say no song, no song, no song. Well, we got to check that. Apologies there. Apologies. Let's check the song back and get it back. Oh, my Lord. Apologies, folks. Apologies. Take a look. Take a listen. Apologies there. We apologize, folks. From the top.
Now listen to me. The Sierra Porter College of Education recently held their teachers' graduation. I do not have at hand a total number in my head of how many teachers graduated, but I'm sure it's somewhere in the thousands. Now, it puzzles me to actually hear of a graduation. It puzzles me to actually know that Priya Manikchan would actually go ahead and have a graduation done. It puzzles me that the principal and all the administrative officers, especially the new HO, see what this lady named. They removed Sierra College of Education removed the last HOC. Now, before I go forward, I'm going to do a follow-up on this. And I'm going to get all these names and give these names to you. So you can get in contact with these people and ask them what I'm saying if it's not fact. The Sierra College of Education went ahead and have a graduation. Now listen to me and listen very carefully what I'm about to say, because this is a disturbing fact. It is unreal. It tells you the level of stupidity, the degree of incompetence of the PPP government and the Minister Priya Manichan. Now let me say this to people. Let me tell you what they did. The Ministry of Education approved the graduation of the teachers. The Sierra College of Education approved the graduation of the teachers without any grades. You hear what I just said? Y'all hear what I just said? Every single teacher who just graduated does not have a final grade. In fact, they can't even find individual grades for individual subjects. They can't find coursework. They can't find any assignment grade. They don't even have final grade. But all the teachers graduate. And guess what? Listen to the intelligence, man. The ironic intelligence of Priya Manichan, Saddam Hussein, all the ACOs and DEOs of the Ministry of Education, and the president, the principal, and the HOC, and all of these people within Sierra College of Education. They gave everybody a B or a B plus. Every single teacher recently graduated with a B or a B plus. Y'all want to know? Let me tell you something. I am angry. I am pissed. This is stupidity beyond measure. Just imagine every single young teacher or matured teacher coming out there right now with an associate's degree in education. They're dunce. They didn't get no grade. There's no justification that they completed their program. The courses that they were supposed to complete are not even completed. Some of them didn't even do no teaching practice. They never went to do teaching practice. Y'all hear what I tell y'all? Y'all hear what I'm saying?
All right. There you have it. That's the closer. There you have it. Those are the allegations, folks. What went down at CPC recently? Over to you, Priya Manichan. Over to you. That's going to do it for us at this end, folks. That's our time. That's our program. And that's the last bell. Folks, remember to share the live, smash that emoji button before you go, and partner with us as well. Thanks to all 3,500 of you for joining us this evening. Yep. Stay safe, folks. Stay safe. Over to you, Priya. Over to you.